Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you might be joining us from. I am the authentic HR Funk, not some imposter. Thank you for joining me for my pre-New Year's Eve live stream. I've been looking forward to this, and as usual, I have no plan, no script, anything like that. The biggest reason I look forward to these live streams is because it's a way to maintain my connection and my dialogue with all of you. So I'm looking forward to any sort of questions, responding to comments, and just having a good time this evening. And already we've got a pretty good group in here. Joe Morgan is with us. Dale Kidd, I saw in there somewhere. Art Grote. Dan the Wolfman is here. How you doing, Dan? And Roy Kiefer is here. Captain Roy, nice to see you, sir. Um, and we got some other people joining us. Just some asshole. And let's see. If we got any questions for me in here so far, if you guys are all just talking to each other. And Cowboy is here, Cowboy 65 from just up the road in the Doylestown area. So thank you for joining us, Cowboy. Um, I've had a great holiday season so far. The only downside to it was on Christmas Eve. I had some sort of a illness, and I the best I can come up with is some sort of food poisoning, but it really had me down for the count on Christmas Eve. But I bounced back on Christmas Day, had a great Christmas. We went down to visit my son and daughter-in-law in the Columbus area. Had a wonderful time down there. I got back here on Sunday, and this week I've just been kind of taking it easy, getting some things done around the house, and looking forward to right now having the live stream this evening. So jumping back over here to the questions, and Joe Morgan, predictions on New Year, good, bad, or more the same? You know what? I think we're all about due for some good. So I hope that's the direction it goes. I mean, 2020 was not that great. 2021 definitely had its ups and downs. Unfortunately, a few of those downs were very down. And I think it's time for us to get some ups. So I'm hoping for good things coming up in the new year. I did finish my first video for 2022. That is in the pipeline, and it's going to be going live, I believe, on January the 8th. That'll be the premiere date on the first. Actually, I guess it'll be the second Saturday because New Year's Day is going to be the first Saturday coming up this weekend. But got that done. That's going to be coming. It's going to be a fun video. I think you guys are going to enjoy. It's kind of long. In fact, I ended up breaking it into two parts. But I think it's going to be worth watching. There's a lot of data that I'm going to be covering in that. So I hope you guys enjoy that as well. I've got another video that's in the pipeline coming up. It's in the pre-production stage at this point, and I will break out the camera and get some recording done on that coming up pretty soon. And hope to just keep things rolling along with the channel. I haven't made up my mind on this yet, but I may back off just a little bit on the midweek updates, just because trying to maintain that production schedule, and I've been doing it now for probably 2 years, where I've been doing 2 videos a week, and sometimes trying to get 2 videos in a week is a little bit of a challenge. So just depending on how things go, I might back off on that. It's not going to go away. It's not going to cease to exist, but you might not see quite as many midweek updates coming up in 2022 as you've been seeing in 2021 and 2020. Otherwise, like I said, I've got a lot of ideas and things that I want to get done. So hopefully you guys are going to be right there with me. And I keep telling people I've got the best viewers on YouTube. So thank you all for all your support and everything you do. And jumping back over here again, Skip Boyer is here. Reverend Skip, thanks for joining. And let's see, go down through here a little bit. Andrew Peterman is here. Thanks for joining, Andrew. And 64 Samsky says, hello from the Treasure Coast of South Florida. Well, hello to you. Thanks for joining. Roy Kiefer says, here's a question. I just transitioned back to my SP101 for winter EDC. What do you think? I think you transitioned back to a very nice revolver. Those are well known for their durability and their reliability. You don't mention what that particular one is chambered for. I'm assuming it's a 357, but I don't know. But I think that's a great winter carry revolver. I think it'll do very well for you. Just some asshole says, I think I'm going to just call you JSA. Says, my notifications finally worked for this channel. They were being suppressed for a long time. And I think a lot of people were in the same boat as you. And I've noticed that on my Saturday morning premieres And with the live streams that I've been doing, there are some people that just don't get notifications, which really aggravates me. And I've tried to do some things to help moderate that. I've started really trying to push the community posts to get those out to the subscribers. So if you see those, I'll try to get an announcement of the video up ahead of time, or the live stream. For this live stream, I put out a very short, it was like about a 20-second video earlier today to make the announcement that this was coming up. So I'm sort of trying to do an end around YouTube and get the word out to you folks when I've got things that are coming out. And I'm doing my best, but still, it would be nice if YouTube would do their part and get those notifications out. Dale Kid says, food poisoning, sure. That's no, it really was. I went out with my wife the night before, Christmas Eve, and we got a meal. And I didn't eat anything that seemed like it should have made me sick. I had one beer. I'm telling you, one beer was the only thing that I had with it. And I woke up later that night and I felt awful. And the next day I felt even worse. And I spent basically all of Christmas Eve in bed. Finally dragged myself out of bed later in the evening when we went down to my son and daughter-in-law's place. Got there, got right back into bed again. But woke up Christmas morning, and Santa brought me a new stomach, I guess, overnight, because I felt a lot better on Christmas Day, and I've been feeling better and better ever since. And now I forgot where I was. J. Douglas Henderson is here. Thanks for joining. And Dale Kidd says, what YouTube gun channels do you like to watch? I've mentioned before on here, when you have a YouTube channel and you record YouTube videos, and I spend so much time doing that, you don't get a lot of time to watch YouTube. When I do, I'll try to watch sometimes The Honest Outlaw. I'll watch his things once in a while. I'll watch Graham Bates. His reviews aren't too bad. I watch Paul Harrell sometimes. Dan the Wolfman, I try to catch his videos every now and then. But I really don't watch a lot of videos. Sometimes I just sit down and, it brings up the feed and I'll look for something interesting, or maybe I'm doing a search for information on a particular firearm or particular topic, and I'll search for that. But I really don't spend a lot of time watching YouTube. And now I think I'm way lost. Skip Boyer, well, let's see. Jeff Tim says quality over quantity. Thank you, and that's what I try for. Skip Boyer, does anyone use surplus 9mm magazines? I don't use any, but I've seen them out there, and they're usually pretty cheap. So if you get them and they don't work, you're not out much. They're worth a try, I would say. Alaska Andy says hello. Hello to you. Geico 1975. You have any experience with the Canic? I've been thinking about picking one up this coming year. Have a great New Year's. No, I don't. Other than just handling them in the stores and things like that, I've never fired one. They get great reviews. I noticed the prices are going up and up and up, and it seems like every day they've got a different model out there that they're marketing. But as far as I know, they're very good firearms. Maybe sooner or later I'll get one to review myself, but just haven't done that yet. Robert Woolley says, Semper Fi to you. Gary Point, what was the first firearm you bought? The first firearm I bought. I think the first firearm I bought was my first duty weapon for the first police department I worked for when I got out of the Marine Corps. And that was my Smith & Wesson 5904. That's the first one I remember buying. I had firearms prior to that, but they were ones that had been purchased for me by my parents as gifts and given to me and things like that. I think that's the first one I ever bought. At least the first one I remember buying, circa 1989. And Rabbi is here. How you doing, Rabbi? Glad you made it. And Matt Livingston says, Mr. Funk, I'm about to turn 40 years old. What advice would you give me on moving into another decade of aging? My wife always says it's better to have birthdays than not, and it's hard to argue with that. I have enjoyed every age I've ever been. At 55 right now, I really don't feel, especially mentally, differently than I did when I was 25. Physically, yeah, a little bit, although I was telling ERJG this the other day. I helped teach a karate class. And a week ago, we had a test for a young man who was testing for his black belt. He's 18 years old. And so I'm sitting there doing the senior black belt thing, judging and all that kind of thing. And our senior instructor, our Shihan, looks at me. He goes, "I'm going to have you spar with Tyler when we get to the sparring part." I'm like, "Really?" I'm cold, no stretching, no nothing. Jump up, put on the pads, and have at it. And I'm happy to say I think I gave a pretty good account of myself. I didn't get knocked out or anything like that. I managed to do pretty well for jumping into it cold. Let's see, back over here. We made a pretty big jump there. John Rhee is here. How you doing, John? I was a little worried about you. I haven't seen you in the Saturday morning premieres for a while, and I was worried that there might be a problem there. So I'm glad to see you joining us. Your comment is Happy New Year, folks. Remember, if you're shooting off guns this year, practice gun safety this new year. That's always a thing. I know some people do that, but it always really, really worries me because people will go out and they'll, crank off a couple of rounds out of a shotgun or something on New Year's Eve, and those projectiles come down somewhere. And I would really caution against anything like that. Dale Kidd says, Matt Livingston, keep in shape. Otherwise, just hold on and enjoy the ride. That's good advice. Armored Ghost, Mr. Funk, how do I get the girls? You're asking the wrong guy. I lucked out and got my last girl about what's it been now? 20 years ago, a little over 20 years ago, and haven't been looking, so I really can't help you out on that one. 64 Samsky, just getting over COVID. Well, I'm glad you're getting over it. I hope you're feeling well, and I hope for a speedy recovery for you. Rabbi Chief ate a bad crayon. That's probably it. Andrew Peterman, I do have a question for you. What type of lubricant do you like using on your firearms? For years and years, I have been using Mobil One synthetic mobile oil, motor oil. I think it's 5W20 that I use, and it works great. In fact, a quart of that stuff, which costs $6 or $7, lasts years, and it does a phenomenal job. I run it on my ARs. I run it on my semi-auto pistols. I run it on just about everything. I don't use it as a preservative, and I don't use it as a cleaner, but I use it just as a lube, and it works very well in that capacity. Azzy66 says, Semper Fi to you. Oh, by the way, I'm wearing my Vietnam era ERDL camo as a tip of the hat to all you Vietnam era Marines out there. So I got these recently. I think they're pretty cool, and I decided to wear them for the live stream tonight. That, and somebody gave me a hard time about the hoodie that I was wearing earlier when I did the announcement for the live stream. So I thought I would put something else on so I didn't get made fun of. And Dale Kidd, did Santa bring you any new toys for Christmas? Not really. No new firearms this year. I got a lot of cool things. It was kind of a year for the smaller gifts for us for Christmas. And then that was fine with me. I really didn't have anything I needed. There wasn't anything that I was, hoping beyond hope Santa Claus was going to bring me. So it was really nice, and we were able to concentrate on my daughter. She got a ton of stuff, especially things to get ready for college and things like that. Get things for my son and daughter-in-law. I got a bunch of stuff for my wife. But it was really, really a nice Christmas, and I wasn't really worried about getting anything too big. Jonathan Jackson is here. Hello to you. Dan O'Neill says, oh my, it took a big jump there. Says, glad you're feeling better. No fun getting sick. Absolutely not. Eric Chug, what state do you live in? Or it says, what state do you live? I live in Ohio. I live in Northern Ohio. Brad Maher, how do you defend your home armor or chest rig? I've got armor all over the place, but the idea of trying to throw it on in the middle of the night when I'm not wearing anything but pajamas is probably not going to happen. Probably what I'm going to use for armor is the lead that's going toward the bad guy that I'm worried about doing me some kind of harm. Sammy 12, all I can see is a head and a pair of hands floating in space. What? You're losing me there. Ah, okay. I think I get where you're coming from. Rabbi's talking to Brad. Matt Walters is here. How are you doing, Matt? Jacob Allen says, Ra, my brother, Semper Fi to you. Josie Wales says, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And same to you, Josie. Joe Morgan says that 5904 is a nice gun. It really is. I am. The one that I have now is not the same one that I bought when I got out of the Marine Corps. I've told the story that I traded that, and I went years and years and years and didn't have one. And I found the one that I have now just a year or so ago at a gun show. But I'm glad to have it back in my collection. It's one of my most carried firearms. A lot of times if I'm just going out, walking through the woods or doing whatever, I'll throw that 5904 in a holster. It's just a nice carrying, nice shooting, reliable, relatively lightweight handgun. And Jesse Judas says, y'all be righteous. And thank you, Mr. Funk. Apparently he's bailing out on us. So thanks for joining, Jesse. I'm glad you made it. Doug Perminsky, you still loving your 686 4-inch barrel? Yes, I do. That's the revolver that I grab most often if I'm headed out into the field. Although these days, that 4-inch 66 that I got, it gets the nod every once in a while too. That's a nice revolver as well. Michael Funk, I like spending time checking out your videos because it's always chock full of good learning and more. Well, thank you. Thanks, Michael. I appreciate that. And it's funny because you have 2/3 of my son's name. He's Benjamin Michael Funk. So that's cool. Rabbi, anyone else picturing Kramer fighting the kids? No, really, he was an 18-year-old, not an 8-year-old, not a junior black belt. Stephen Merrill Detweiler is here. Says, good evening. Hope all is well with everyone. Thanks for joining, Steve. All's well here. Dale Kid just made me choke on my drink. Dan O'Neill is talking to Andrew. Let's see. If a gun company casts billets, then mills receivers out of those billets, is the machine receiver any different from a cast receiver? I am not enough of a metallurgist to be able to answer that question. I don't know. Jacob Allen, latest news I've heard coming in from the Corps. And hold on here. Latest news I've heard coming in from the Corps is the brand new course of fire for their main rifle marksmanship course is kind of getting away from the target rifle practice of old. Your thoughts? You know, the hallmark of the Marine Corps is rifle marksmanship, is marksmanship period, but especially rifle marksmanship. I would like to see them hold on to that, teach sight alignment, sight picture, trigger control, breath control, and then move into more of a combat oriented shooting. It's always easy to go that way. It's easy to teach the fundamentals of marksmanship and then move into a faster, more dynamic type of shooting than it is to teach the faster, more dynamic type of shooting and then try to dial it back later on to teach somebody how to place accurate shots on target. So I would like to see them hold on to it, if for nothing else, than to preserve that tradition of marksmanship excellence in the Marine Corps. Stephen Detweiler, sitting at the apartment for New Year's with COVID, doing, oh no. Too bad, Steve. I hope you're feeling well. I hope you get better soon. Simon Aguilar, gun talk. No life advice, questions, if you please. Okay. I'm trying to get gun talk in here. Stacy Morris, a Quota Mobile One is running. Oh, it's up to $10 now. It tells you how long it's been since I bought any. I got this current bottle probably 5, 6, 7 years ago. I don't know, and I'm still using it, and I use it all the time. It's not like I never use this stuff. I'm constantly using it to lube firearms, and those bottles last forever. Josie Wales, I was wondering that about the camos. Thanks for the perspective. You're welcome. Dale Kidd, finally someone else who realizes oil is oil. I've been running motor oil for years. It really is. And that synthetic motor oil, when you think about it, it runs in those, high revving racing engines that have however many thousands of RPMs, and they'll use that for an entire race. The idea that it wouldn't work in something like an AR-15 is kind of silly. Geico 1975 is talking to Samsky. Jonathan Jackson, Mr. Funk, the RJ Renner 1911 45 Super Long Slide Pistol is a pistol I would like to see you review on the range one day. I'd like to see me review that too. If I ever come across one, you'll definitely see it in front of the camera. Rabbi, we bought $500 worth of toys for those immigrant kids at the border. Didn't see any of the Bernie or Biden bumper sticker. Yeah, that figures. On any of the cars with the other people dropping off gifts. That was really thoughtful of you, Rabbi. Very kind of you to try to get gifts for the kids down at the border. So kudos to you. Steve Detweiler, if you got a new gun for Christmas, you would have to redo your last. Yep, have to pull that one, redo it, try to get it out there within just a couple of days. But fortunately, I don't have any need to do that. 64 Samsky, the making some good. Okay, looks like that's part of another conversation. Michael Galvin, what gun do you use for home defense? I have several of them stationed at different places around the house. So whichever one I'm close enough to when I need it is the one that I'll use. Sammy 12, have you ever had a blot with an MP5? I'm not sure what you're asking there. If you clarify that for me, I'll try to answer you. I've done some shooting with an MP5, but not sure just exactly what you're asking. WagTech, have you looked at the Ruger PC9 Charger? Looks like fun. I've seen them. That's about it. I haven't done any more than just look at them. Dale Kidd, perfect. Always said that in the middle of the night SHTF situation, I'm going to be lucky to have time to grab my gun. Never mind throwing body armor tech. But yeah. I agree. I suppose there's nothing wrong with having that stuff handy and having it staged, but I just don't see me throwing on that heavy tactical vest over top, like I said, of my pajamas or less, and trying to defend my home. I don't expect that's going to happen. And believe it or not, I really don't sleep in this kind of stuff. Usually. John Ree, haven't been getting the notifications. I'm sorry, John. Check that bell icon. Make sure you're set for all notifications and all that. So, yeah, I wondered why we hadn't seen you for a while. David Catchell, always wear my kitchen sink to bed just in case. Chris 1911, belated Merry Christmas to all and Happy New Year. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you, Chris. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you, Chris. That was hard to say for some reason. Simon Aguilar, does the military even use iron sights anymore? I don't think so, at least not on any kind of long gun. I think everything has moved more or less to optics. I think they still teach irons as backup because they do have backup irons on those various long guns, but I think iron sight shooting is becoming a art of the past, or a art from days gone by. Mark Nagel says, "Hi, Mr. Funk. Do you have any 44 Special firearms?" I do. I have a 44 Special Ruger Blackhawk Bisley, and I also use 44 Specials sometimes in my 44 Magnums. If so, do you like them? Strong opinions for or against? Happy New Year. I really like the 44 Special cartridge. I really particularly like the Skeeter Skeleton load with the 240 grain hard cast bullet, traveling at about 1,000 feet per second, give or take, depending on barrel length. I think that's a great general purpose handgun load that'll do just about anything you need a handgun load to do, other than maybe really large game or something like that, or long distance target shooting or what have you. But that's one of my favorite loads, and that's one of the loads that I use in the 44 Special a lot, in both that Blackhawk Bisley and some of my 44 Magnums. Roy Kiefer, I believe Lieutenant Colonel Cooper said only hits count, and the good colonel, I'm sure, is absolutely right. Chief, your thoughts on Kim Potter? My thoughts are that's an unfortunate situation all the way around, and I think I'm just going to leave it at that. I really don't want to go down that road in the live stream. Troy Mason, hey Devil Dog, which pistols are you reviewing in your upcoming video? 1911 Beretta and the new SIG and the Glock 19. So all the ones that I've been doing in the USMC then and now videos, I'm going to be putting them out on the range head to head. I've come up with a way to be able to evaluate them numerically, and we're going to see just exactly how they fare when they're all pitted against each other. So how's that for a teaser? Jacob Allen, I believe they're still holding on to those fundamentals of marksmanship, but they're definitely honing in on making accurate kill shots versus hits from 500 yards to 10-yard failure drills. Yeah, and to a degree, I get that. I know what they're trying to do. Like I said, I don't want to see them abandon that fundamental marksmanship in the Marine Corps. Let's see. Dude Spin. Hello, Mr. Funk. Love your videos. For Optics Planet, the discount code did not work with ammo. I know there are a few things that it won't work with. I think also it won't work if there's a like another promotion or sale or what have you. I don't think it'll let you use the discount code on top of that. So I apologize. But generally speaking, that discount code will work and it'll get you 5% off. Stephen Detweiler, is one of those home defense shotgun? Which one and why? Actually, a couple of them are. I've got a Remington 870 strategically placed. I've got my 1187 that I transferred into a combat configuration. I've got that one strategically stationed. I've got handguns here and there. I've got some rifles. So you just never know what might come out from underneath any couch or closet or underneath my chair or whatever. And Geico 1975, what kind of watch are you wearing, HR? Looks nice on the video. If it's this one, it's my Apple Watch. I wear this in a lot of videos. Sometimes I'll have this one on as well. This might well be the best watch I ever purchased. This is a Casio G-Shock, and it's one of the tough solars. So it's powered by light. It's just sunlight or even light in the house or whatever. And I've had this thing now for over 7 years, and it just keeps on working. It keeps time perfectly. I've worn this thing all over the place. It's been in the ocean. It's been up to Camp Perry in blazing hot sun. It's been everywhere, and it just keeps it sounds like a different kind of watch, but just keeps on ticking, does a great job. So, I forget what I paid for that, $65 or something, but great watch. And I've got a few other ones you might see in videos from time to time. And I have been negligent here. Shotgunner made a $5 donation, and I just now got around to saying thank you very much for that $5 donation. I appreciate it tremendously. You guys, I never ask for money, but I definitely appreciate anytime anybody wants to throw in a donation. So thank you very much, Shotgunner. I appreciate it. And now I got to figure out where I was. Scott Person says, my son just moved into his first apartment and wants a home defense gun. Thoughts? That's hard for me to say because I don't know anything about your son. I don't know, how knowledgeable of firearms he is. I don't know how much shooting he does. I hate to make a recommendation like that just blindly because, what might work really well for one person or might work well for me might not work well for him just based on his circumstances. So I kind of will hold off on making a recommendation there. Keith Tate, isn't CLP better than motor oil because it's designed to clean the powder and possibly lead residue? What, as a cleaner, yes. That's what I said. I don't use the motor oil to clean. I use it just strictly as a lubricant. So if you want something to clean and preserve, then some sort of CLP is going to work better. But I actually use cleaning solvent to clean. I use that oil to lubricate, and then I use something else as a metal preservative. The fly attractor, preferred home defense weapon, pistol or shotgun? Preferred would be shotgun, but I'll settle for a pistol if that's what I have handy. Michael Funk, so right about keeping marksmanship as a key part of the core training. That's always been the hallmark since the ship's crow's nest days. Yep. Okay, Sammy 12, blot equals shoot. Have you ever shot an MP5? Okay. Yeah, I've shot an MP5. It's been a while, but I really liked it. I mean, extremely smooth shooting, especially in full auto, very controllable. I like the MP5 a lot. And I've told this story before that I went to a submachine gun instructor course years ago, and I was shooting a Colt 9mm submachine gun. And we traded weapons at some point during this to try the various different ones. And I was shooting an MP5 there. And it was just amazing how much more controllable that MP5 was than my Colt submachine gun for the various drills we were shooting. So I'm a big fan of the MP5. And where was I? Okay, there we are. Taticus Legion 78 is here. He made it. I'm glad you made it. Steve Detweiler, ever think about doing an on-the-move tactical shooting video? I've got one. I've got one that I made. It was not this past summer. I think it was the summer before. But I've done a shooting while moving video, and for whatever reason, that's one of those that didn't get very many views. I thought it was a pretty good video, but just didn't really draw much attention, or at least YouTube didn't promote it. Shotgunner says, I used iron sights back in 2002 in the Marine Corps. Okay, so at least at that time it was still being taught. That's good. Dale Kid, just picturing any of us running out in the street, a plate carrier attack, buck naked. Yeah, not the best thing. Devil's Den says, just picked up a Smith & Wesson 351C 22 Magnum for EDC. Thoughts? Thank you. Cool revolver. In fact, there was one of those in a gun shop. I don't know if it's still there or not. I saw it a couple of months ago. And the idea breezed through my mind of picking that up. I really didn't need it at the time, but I really thought about it. I thought, 22 Magnum in a J-frame configuration, 2-inch, and it trying to remember now if it was a 7-shot or an 8-shot. I think that was a 7-shot. Just seemed like kind of an interesting little handgun. So I think you got something pretty cool there. Drew Bradley, have an early day coming. Enjoy New Year's Day with the family and friends. Please be safe. Don't drink and drive. Not worth it. Nope, absolutely not. You take care, Drew. Thanks for joining us. Dale Kid says my typing can't keep up with my thinking when I'm drinking. Yeah, well, you know that. Steve Detweiler was just up in Colorado Springs shooting my brother's 308 using iron sights, hitting paper plates. This took a jump. I didn't see where you were hitting the at 107 yards. Good shooting. Good job. Mike Benjamin, hope you had a great Christmas. I did. Thank you very much. Thanks for all your hard work. You're welcome. Thank you for watching. Lonnie Porter's here. Sorry I'm late. Had to take care of the dogs and go. That's okay. I understand. No problem. And I'm going to kind of scroll down here a little bit. A lot of you guys are talking about running around naked. Why did the chicken cross the road? North Korean missiles can't make it that far. Mark Sukavele is here from Finland. How are you doing? Glad you joined us. And says, nice to see you again. Well, it's nice to see you again. I'm glad you made it here. It's got to be awfully late over there. What time is it here? Looks like it's about 23 minutes till 8. So, wow, it's got to be what, 2 in the morning, something like that over there. So, thanks for joining that late or that early. Brock Savage says, do you have a favorite backup or pocket gun? Yep, my Smith & Wesson Model 342 Airlight TI J-frame 38 Special titanium cylinder revolver. I absolutely love that little thing because it's so light, it's so handy, it's easy to drop in a pocket. It's made quite a few appearances in videos over the years. It is my most carried off-duty firearm because it's so easy to carry. And by the way, that brings me up to tonight's non-firing replica firearm. So YouTube, this is a non-firing replica. I got to get everything ready to go here. And this is a good one. Here it comes. This is a non-firing replica of a Smith & Wesson Cs9 Chief Special. These were made for about $19.99 until about 2005 or so. This is the 9mm version. They also came in a 40 and a 45, but I think the 9mm was really the best of the bunch. It's very size efficient, has a 7-shot magazine for a 7+1 capacity. The weight on these was about 22 ounces, if I remember correctly. This is just an extremely good little semi-auto pistol. It's so good, in fact, that all these years later, I still have it in my collection. I've never been able to bring myself to part with it, non-firing replica that it is, because it is just such a fine, fine little non-firing replica. So that's tonight's non-firing replica making a appearance in the video. And now back over here to the chat feed. Ben Crane is here. How you doing, Ben? Glad you made it. Dale Kidd, Casio watches, even the cheap ones, are remarkably good. I've gone back to a Timex primarily due to the availability, but wore a Casio for years. And let's see. Marsuka Vele, as a home defend gun, anything is better than nothing. I agree. Ben Crane says, mark this down. HR is on the road to recovery. Or wait a second. Is on record. I'm not on the road to recovery. I'm on the record, apparently, for actually liking an HK product. Yes. I do like the MP5. Tactics Legion 78. Don't have any gun news. I did read 77 books this year. Wow, good for you. 77 was about Ohio President William McKinley. Goes into a lot about Ohio, about why Ohio produced a lot of presidents. All right, cool. Dale Kidd, love the MP5. Haven't been able to fire one in a couple of decades now. That's too bad. But remember them fondly. I understand that. I know what you mean. Logica Redu is here. Thanks for joining, Logica. Let's see. This thing is jumping around. What does need have to do with buying a gun? Good question. Rabbi is talking about hiding things from my wife. What kind of slugs do you recommend? I tend to be a traditionalist with slugs. I use the traditional Forster style slugs in my shotguns when I use slugs. I know some people like to use the new space age things, but those have worked well for me. You know, they're good out to about 75 yards for accuracy. And if I need slugs, that's generally what I go with. Mark Nagel says, hi, HR Funk again. Saw the high power is back. What's your opinion? If that platform could be chambered in 45 auto. Always imagined that Browning had plans to do that, but passed away. I have no idea if he did or not. The new high power that's back, the Springfield Armory SA35, is something that I have been watching for ever since it was announced, which is probably, 2 months now or something like that. Every time I go into a gun shop, I ask, have you guys seen any of those? Have you gotten any of them? And the answer is always no. I think Springfield Armory must have made a very limited run of those things, and they went out to a select number of people and distributors. I think Brownells had a few of them for a while. It didn't last very long. And now I hear that they're up on the gun auction websites going for ridiculous prices. But whenever I come across one of those things in the flesh, I'm going to bring it home with me, if at all possible, because I've been waiting to do a review on one of those. I'm kind of chomping at the bit, and you guys are going to see it about as soon as I can get my hands on one. Let's see, what's our time looking like here? 42 minutes. Probably run this to just about an hour for this evening. So we got about another 17, 18 minutes before we call it a night. Tacticus Legion 78, the Book of Boba Fett is out. Yes, my daughter and I just watched the first episode of that today, and I was pretty happy with it. Thought they did a good job with it. Looks like they're maybe trying to change the character a little bit, make him a little bit less of a bad guy, but still, I enjoyed the show. I'm looking forward to more episodes. Josie Wales, I love a company that uses such quality materials in their non-firing replica. You know what? So do I. Sammy 12, have you shot a Smith & Wesson Model 52? No, I haven't. I've handled them. I've never shot one. There was one years ago I had a chance to buy, and I should have bought the thing and didn't. But to date, I've never shot one. In essence, they're just the Model 39 that is modified to be able to take the 38 special wad cutters. So, I mean, to a degree, I have shot it only as the Model 39, not the Model 52. Ben Crane, Smith & Wesson CS9 makes me incredibly jealous. If you ever want to part with it, call me. I'll keep that in mind, Ben, but don't wait breathlessly by the phone. Dale Kidd, the CS9 was a sweet little pistol. Yes, it was. Let's see. Bruce, Amy, you close to Worcester, Ohio? Very close to Worcester, Ohio. Not far away at all. Tactics Legion 78. All I know is next year I'm committed to getting to the range/real training classes. Good. The more training, the more range time you get, the better. Jacob Allen is a former law enforcement officer. What is your opinion, or what is your favorite patrol vehicle that you drove? Wow, favorite one. I think it's probably going to be the old Crown Vics. I'm talking about the old late 80s, early 90s version, the big boxy ones, because there was so much room in those things. There was room for all of our junk, shotguns and radars and radios and, all of paperwork. And every police officer has got a bag full of paperwork and things like that on the seat beside them. And those old Crown Vics had room for all that stuff, plus a trunk that was big enough to put all kinds of stuff in. So I think we're gonna go with that for my favorite one. Rabbi, I always match my firearm to the vehicle. We were buying a new Class A motorhome. Built an AR. Wait a second. I built an AR pistol for our travel trailer. What firearm matches best with a motorhome at everyone? I don't know. That AR pistol seems like it would work pretty well in there because motorhomes still don't have a tremendous amount of space, and that's going to take up not much space and still give you a very effective option. I think I would go with that same one. Dale Kid says a Barrett. Masked Man 1980, evening HR. Quick question. What's your duty ammo now that you're issued a Glock? We're using 124 grain Spear Gold Dot plus P ammo. Gary Point, why doesn't LEOs use shotguns more in public shootings? ARs are way too powerful. ARs are slowly supplanting the traditional shotgun for a variety of reasons, not the least of which is they're easier for some people to shoot than the shotguns. They also have greater range capabilities, higher ammunition capacity. They will do everything the shotgun will do essentially, and then do more on top of that. So we're seeing fewer and fewer shotguns in cruisers out there. The shotguns are taking on more of a specialty role for impact munitions or breaching munitions and things like that, more so than the day-to-day patrol operations. Rabbi, what are you saying there? Nice, it's got the length. Okay. Oh, you must be talking about the Barrett. Steve, World War One. You do any deer hunting this year? No, I haven't. At least not yet. I've still got black powder season coming up in a couple of weeks, and if I have time, I might try to get out. I always kind of like going during that season because there's not nearly as many hunters out then, and I prefer it that way. I don't like it when there's all kinds of people traipsing through the woods. I like it when it's just me out there enjoying nature and doing some hunting. So we'll see. I'm going to try to get out during then. Dale Kidd referenced the SA-35. Demand is so high. It'll be about 6 months before production catches up. I hope there is production. That's what I'm worried about, is that they're not actually rolling them out of the factory for some reason. Simon Aguilar, Grantham had issues with his new high power. And I'm aware of another entity that's had some problems with them. So we'll see what things look like when I can get a hold of one. Tadix Legion says, where'd that go? Did see one in the local shop, didn't buy it because it was just before Christmas, so no money. That's too bad. And I told my wife the first time I lay eyes on one, I'm buying it, unless the price is just so astronomical that I can't. But if it's around the MSRP, it's coming home with me. I just have to find one. What is Masuka Bailey saying? I catch the end of conversations sometimes that you guys are having, and I don't know what it's in reference to. I'll just see a comment like that that says, "God, then I can go back to sleep." I think he means good, then I can go back to sleep, but I don't know what it's in reference to. Um, Shotgunner, is that your living room or man cave? This is my office right here. This is my home office. So when you see me in here, this is also where I do the editing for all my videos. This is where the computer is, obviously. So that's what you're seeing behind me, at least a portion of it. And 223 DMR, hello, hello, Patriots, hello from Missouri. Well, hello to you. Okay, you guys are still talking about the Barrett for $7,000. What is the oldest firearm you own? Mine is a 1917 Lee Enfield sporterized, but not in very good condition. Trying to think what the oldest firearm is that I have. It's probably that 1903 A1, and that is from the 1930s. I would have to pull it out of the safe and check to be sure, but that's probably the oldest one I own. I can't think of anything off the top of my head that's older than that anyway. Okay, looks like Rabbi says training at the range. You're such a poser. I learned from Call of Duty YouTube like real operators. Yeah, and I hope to be an operator like that someday. Maybe if I become a good enough operator, I'll get my own headset, and I'll be the one that you talk to when you dial zero. You folks that are old enough to remember the telephones that you actually had to dial will know what I'm talking about. Steve Merrill Detweiler is heading out for the night. Good night, Steve. Have a good evening. And again, I hope you get the feeling better and recover soon. Bruce, Amy, have you ever shot at Camp Perry? Yes, I have. Shoot there just about every year. I think I don't know, I've missed 1 or 2 years out of the last dozen or so, but I very much enjoy shooting up there. Michael Spears, when is the Hilux TD3C going to be available? The information I have is it's going to be shipping in January. Now, I don't know when in January. I don't know if it's going to be the beginning of the month, middle of the month, end of the month, but it's supposed to be shipping in January. And it's too bad. I asked the guys if they were going to get it out for Christmas, and for whatever reason, they couldn't get things to the market that fast. And this thing just took a big jump. Jonathan Jackson, if you had one firearm company to choose from the rest of your life, not Glock, good, what would it be? Wow. I'm gonna say Smith and Wesson just because I'm so inherently familiar with their products, and they're producing everything from ARs to revolvers to semi-autos. I probably would go with them, but I would also really hate to be limited to just one manufacturer for the rest of my life. Dale Kid says the only problem with those old Crown Vics was the only thing they could catch was a cold. Now, I'll tell you, we had one or two of them. They had the old 460s in, and those things would go. The newer ones, they built some, I think, with V6s and some other things that were not so much. But those few of the older ones, they would get up and run. And it looks like about 5 minutes yet till we call it a night. So I'm going to try to get some last few questions in here. Keep your booger hook off the bang switch. And A lot of you guys are talking to each other. So, Marsuka Vele have an old Ford Camry engine in my garage waiting for recovery. Maybe nice for maybe a nice engine in an old cruiser. Ben Crane, think Daddy Funk would let us borrow the Jeep after we got it. No borrowing the Jeep. Ken, I'm probably going to mispronounce this. DePiro. I'm a little older than you, and my eyes are not getting any better. Does a red dot help? Do you recommend any in particular? They really do. And one of the things as my eyes age, I find that I pick up that red dot easier, whether it's a micro red dot on a pistol or even a standard red dot on something like an AR. It really does make a difference. I don't think red dots are more accurate, but they are quicker and easier for your eye to pick up. So there is something to be said for them as your eyes age. Firearms never malfunction in Call of Duty. Well, hey, those are the ones to get then. Shotgunner, my oldest gun is a Colt DA-38 revolver made in 1906. Wow, that's cool. 1906, great. Tadix Legion, if there's one thing that I've learned from YouTube operators is 90% of them will easily fall due to them not realizing the enemy shoots back. Bruce Amy, I shot a high power at Perry a while ago. Live in Dalton, Ohio. Okay, so you're just down the road in Dalton. Okay, so we got a few people here from close by. CJ says, hello, HR. Hello to you. Uh-oh. Looks like you're loaning your Jeep to Ben and I so we can mount a civilian legal M249 again. No Jeep. Cowboy, are the Browns going to make it to playoffs? Oh, man. Every time that I think, things are starting to go their way, all of a sudden they go through a streak like here this last 2 or 3 games where, they're getting that close. The game just the other day where they came awfully close again and came up 2 points short. They're driving me crazy. Oh, Ben Crane made a $5 donation. Thank you, Ben. Thank you very much. It says, little ammo fund money. Happy New Year. Thank you. I appreciate it. Let's see. Shelby Putnam, no question. Love the content. Happy New Year's. Thank you. Happy New Year to you. If you had 4 gun companies to choose from, who would they be? They would probably be too much thinking for me to do in a minute and 45 seconds. Mark Becker is here. Says, good evening to everyone. Good evening, Mark. I hope you're not just tuning in because we're just about to call it a night. Oh, Jacob Allen made a $10 donation. Thank you very much. More bullets, he says. I appreciate that, guys. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. And let's see. PGG00 says, when you're coming out this way to review some guns, lots just waiting for you. I'll keep that in mind. By the way, it sounds like I'm going to be doing a little bit of traveling here coming up probably next spring or fall, headed out South Dakota way again. Haven't been out there for a while, so I'm going to be headed back to South Dakota. If any of you are in that neck of the woods, I'll try to let you know when it gets closer where I'm going to be, and maybe you can stop and say hi. The Browns can make the playoffs if unusual events occur, including pig. Yeah. Marsuka Bailey, thank you for the evening and a happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. Thanks for joining. Sam Flynn, tried appendix carry, just like Ralphie shot. Oh no. Shotgunner, another $5 donation. Thank you very much, Shotgunner. I appreciate that. I think that's your second one tonight, so thank you. Dale Kid, Happy New Year, Howard, and everyone else. See you all in 2022. Let's pray it's better than 2021. Amen. Take care, Dale. All right, gang, that's an hour. I'm going to wrap it up, I think. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here. Thanks to all of you who made a donation. Again, as I said earlier, you are the absolute best viewers on YouTube. I tell people that all the time. I don't have the most viewers, but I have the best viewers. You are all so supportive. It's tremendous, whether it's tuning into the Saturday morning premieres and all the fun that we have in the live chat, or tuning into these things and having the dialogue back and forth is just phenomenal. Or all of the comments that come in with all the videos, and I try to respond to the vast majority of those. And so thank you all for being the absolute best viewers on YouTube. Thanks for a tremendous 2021 here on my channel. And I look forward to seeing all of you in 2022. Have a safe and happy new year. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.